I was sitting on the couch in my buddy's house having a couple beers, and we were talking about why isn't there a Transformers convention in Canada? So I said, okay, well let's make one, and here we are today. My friend wanted to sell his Transformers because he wanted to buy a house. So he figured the best way to do it was to sell the toys that he had. And he had been collecting, he never stopped collecting when he was a teenager and everything. Aaron Black, you may know as the guy that runs ReproLabels.com. My friend Aaron wanted to sell his Transformers because he wanted to buy a house. He looked at what he had to be able to do and he said, well, I've got my original Transformers. And he never stopped collecting when he was a kid. And he figured the best way to get a down payment for his house would be to sell his collection. And he had been collecting since ever. He never stopped collecting. He collected all through when he was a teenager and into his 20s. And we were in our 20s at the time. He was going to sell his toys for his family to buy their first house. So we were like, okay, well, how would we go about doing this? Let's see what we can do. We'll see if we can get some local collectors around, organize a little something. Well, why don't we set up a get-together, we called it, and have people come in and they can buy the toys. And that would be a good start. So that was in October of 2002. In less than a month, we organized what was Transformers Con 2002 in the back of a hockey arena in Hamilton, Ontario. And 200 people showed up. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe we should do this again.
Now for the question that fans have argued about for years, which is better, Generation 1 or Beast Wars?
Generation 1.
Generation 1 all the way?
Well, is David K gone?
Every time he talks, like, everything vibrates in the room, like, I'm David K. You know, it's an earthquake.
What was it, last year? He's like, Colin, give me a big hug.
You really are a freak, aren't you?
Yes, Megatron, excellent. Hey. Had to get that out of the way right away.
If you did have pets, what would their names be?
Gary and Ian.
The next dog I get, I'm not going to name him David. I might name him Megatron.
Yeah. They wouldn't be honored that you named your pets after them?
No, they'd slap me.
There's a fish I have in my tank. It's a great big catfish. It sits on the bottom. I think I'll name him Megatron.
I think David will like that.
Oh yeah, this is a great looking fish.
Beast Wars. Next question.
Yeah, I got a question. If Primal, Optimus Primal, and the Colonel from Stargate, and the character you're playing on that show, The Killing, the cop, if they all were Smurfs.
I'm going to kill you, Paul. I know it's you, so I'm going to answer your question.
And I thought, everybody laughed. But Gary stood there and answered the question.
If you were all Smurfs, who would eat the most ice cream?
And he said, well, the Russian colonel would, he was a big guy, so he would eat a lot of ice cream. Primal, no, it's bananas and Energon, and I forgot what he said about the cop because I was laughing at that point. Because I couldn't believe the guy was seriously trying to answer the question.
And Lieutenant Oakswell, his favorite ice cream is Tiger Tail.
The only thing he blew it, he did not mention, he forgot that they were all Smurfs at the time.
Derek Wyatt is a fan.
I've been a Transformers fan since I was 12. So I've been drawing them since I was 12.
He is a fan that fell into a position of being able to create a Transformers universe.
I've always loved Transformers.
So let's start with a question. If you don't ask me questions, I'm going to start asking you questions.
Hello. I can only agree that the sound design on the movies was quite layered and delicious to listen to as someone who enjoys the sound of metal on metal. But
so we know what you're into.
I like to be open and transparent about that.
We end up drawing each other like on the crew into the show.
So I picked up the bowl of fruit and was walking across the room where I was stopped basically by the KGB.
We're doing like a Formspring Live.
Who came and went, "You have to go back to your place. Sit down over there."
Marty's in there, and Norino Maramba, who was the other designer.
And it was like almost an international incident.
It could be like a guy walking down the street, and we're like, look at that guy. He's a total incidental.
And I thought I would pitch you a new show called Transformers Evan Made It. And it's about me and my new best friend, Derek. And we have to save the Transformers universe from Unicron. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. We'll contact Hasbro and Cartoon Network and get right on it.
So now here I am watching a rerun with my 20-year-old daughter who's studying to be an actress in New York. And there's this slave girl. And I'm not telling her, it's me. And she looks at it and she goes, "Dad, is that you?" I said, "Oh, come on, when have I ever sounded like a slave girl?" And she said, "Dad, that's you."
Oh, Michael Bell. He's a dirty old man. He's hilarious.
Well, that's because we used to sunbathe together.
Indeed.
So he figured since we liked each other that, it's very possible we would swap bathing suits.
I'd also like to thank you for having the fans' interest at heart.
Don Murphy, he's more than willing to interact with the fans and everything. It was great. He's a nice guy.
Fans don't agree on anything except one thing, which is they want Cullen and Welka back.
Yes.
Yes. And
here.
McConaughey, didn't he have something to do with Transformers? Call McConaughey.
Soundwave. We all love Soundwave.
But we don't have cassettes anymore! Oh, well, once you commit to being an actor and giving up your life to never-ending rejection, it's what it is. But I can't stop. I'm an addict.
Bumblebee is a VW. Bumblebee is a bug. That voice... Bumblebee is a VW, and Bumblebee is Dan Gilvezan. Period.
Oh, it's beautiful. Cut. One all together. Oh, very nice.
Can we hear your take on Starscream?
Yes, I would do him just like this, as a tribute to Chris Latta.
Anybody remember that show? It's great to be here. Thanks for the warm welcome. Fantastic. I've never been to Canada before. I'm going to live here now. I'm going to move to Canada.
I should be getting along. I have to go now and do my panel and tell people how to get into voiceover.
Hey, Optimus, what the f***? Is anybody from Hasbro here? Because I'm in deep merd.
Wow, how did my career start? I thought you were going to say, "Me Grimlock, me Dinobot leader," but I guess we'll get to that later. Me Grimlock say hello, Toronto! Look at the longevity of what we created. I mean, I have people who introduce their kids to me now, and they want their kids to know how important all of this was to them, and they're helping it to become important to their kids.
Grimlock is very enduring. We all love Grimlock, is that right?
Yeah! Me king, me distract if me want.
Well, I'm not going to argue with Grimlock.
It sounded like you were arguing with Grimlock.
Oh.
Grimlock had to play the king card.
And if you had to pick a Transformer who you're most like, who would you say it was?
Wheelie?
Have you ever regretted telling Evan on camera that Wheelie is your favorite character?
No. wheelie is God.
Mrs. Douglas here is Colin's wife, Lise. Her and her family also make this event very, very possible. So a big round of applause and some love for her.
It's Elise's fault that TFcon exists. January of 2000, when my now wife wanted to see what my Transformers were like. When we first started dating and got our first apartment, we were talking about Transformers, and she told me how a boy in her class had Grimlock, and she loved Grimlock and had a crush on him, and he would allow Grimlock to be on her desk when she was little. And I said, oh. So I said, well, I've got a lot of Transformers at my parents' house under the in the storage. We should go over there and pick it up and take a look at them. So we went over there and grabbed the boxes that my brother and I used to have. So we broke them out on our apartment at the time, all over the floor, and within hours I was on eBay buying them all up. And something snapped in my mind, and I was on eBay, and it was 1999.
Frothing at the mouth, the
Yeah, next thing I know, I was buying up like 1 or 2 G1s a week. But they weren't as expensive back then. Yes, yeah, that too. So she's the reason TFcon exists. In planning for next year, if they all pan out, hopefully you guys will find out about that information soon.
So it's all top secret for now?
I wouldn't say it's top secret, but yeah, it's top secret.
Happy 10th anniversary, TFcon, from me, David Kay.
This is Eric Bowser, the voice of Destro from G.I. Joe Resolute.
And Megatron. Excellent.
TFcon, happy anniversary. I hope you guys have a great time.
10th anniversary, 10 years of this complete and total madness.
And Optimus Prime's to transform and roll out. Happy 10th.
You all seem such nice people, the Canadians.
Hey, TFcon, happy 10th anniversary.
And look what you do. Every year you go completely berserk and invite alien robots into your lives.
Sorry I'm not there with you. I was just good enough for the 9th anniversary.
Great stuff. 10 years. Wow, that's a long, long time.
Happy anniversary for 2012 TFcon.
A lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of fun.
I know you're going to have a wonderful time, everybody. And you deserve it, because you run a great show.
You can generally pat yourselves on the back and say you've deserved it, because, you know, this is a really well-run, well-put-together convention.
Have a great time. I know you're going to have a wonderful time, everybody.
Let's get out of here. I smell some G.I. Joes around the corner.
Good luck to you.
Don't screw it up.